Whoever is determined to die fears nothing. Today, for one to be able to face the difficulties he encounters, he must have Christ in his heart, from whom he will receive divine consolation in order to have the sense of self-sacrifice. Otherwise, what is going to happen at a difficult moment? I read somewhere that Abdul Pasha had taken 500 young men from the Holy Mountain. Some of them were novices and some had gone there to hide. It seems that back then, during the Greek Revolution, people took refuge on the Holy Mountain because the Turks rounded up young boys to turn them into janissaries. Of the young men Abdul Pasha gathered, those who did not deny Christ he would hang from the tower at Uranopolis. Of those he gathered on the Holy Mountain, only 5 were martyred, while the others denied Christ and became janissaries. It takes bravery, it is not a trifling matter. If one has wretchedness and selfishness in his heart, he cannot have divine power, and then how can he to face such a situation? I was impressed by what one of the bishops or a patriarchate said to me. I had previously noted, what are we coming to? On the one hand, we have ecumenism, on the other hand, we have Zionism, and now Satanism. Soon we'll be bowing to the devil with his 2 horns instead of the 2-headed eagle. Then he told me, today it is rare to find a bishop like the bishop of Caesarea, Paisios II. What did Paisios II do? Well, he used to go to the Sultan to petition about his affairs while wearing a sturdy piece of rope around his waist, as he was determined and ready to be hanged by the Turks. It was as if he was suggesting to the Sultan, don't bother to look for a rope and delay. If you're going to hang me here, I have the rope ready. For the difficult issues of the church, he was the one sent to the Sultan. Many times he saved the patriarchate from dangerous situations. In his old age, he would be taken to Constantinople on horseback in a large basket, with a counterweight on the opposite side of the horse. Once the Turks had issued an order calling on Greeks to serve in the Turkish army, Christians had a hard time serving together with Turks, because they could not carry out their religious duties. In the meantime, the Russians had asked the Turks not to prevent the Greeks from observing their religious duties. The Patriarch called upon Paisios and sent him to the Sultan. He then appeared before the Sultan again wearing the rope around his waist. The Sultan told him the Greeks must be conscripted to serve the country. Then Paisios told him, yes, I, too, agree that the Greeks should be conscripted to serve. After all, these lands belonged to them from long ago. But because we have a different religion, they must be placed in a separate army with their own officers, so they can observe their religious duties. You know that they cannot say their prayers together with your people. To have you observing Ramadan and we the Epiphany. The Sultan began to think to himself, the Christians armed, this is dangerous. Then he answered, no, it is better if the Greeks are not conscripted. On another occasion, the Armenians had asked the Sultan to grant to them the Balukli and were successful in getting his approval. Later, Paisios went to the Sultan to discuss this matter. The Sultan noted, the Balukli once belonged to the ancestors of the Armenians and they should have it. Then Paisios agreed with him. Yes, they should have it, because when we know that an area once belonged to our ancestors, we should take it. Give me a document to sign with you about the Balukli, for I have come as a representative of a patriarchate. He signed too. Then he took out a Constantinian florin and said, the Armenians should have Balukli, but then we should have Hagia Sophia, for it is ours. It belongs to our ancestors, and you must give it to us." And he showed the Constantinian florin. Paisios was accompanied by a Russian officer who had arrived in the city by ship to serve as a witness. At that moment, the Sultan found himself in a dilemma and rescinded his decision about Balukli. No, the Balukli is yours," the Sultan relented. The Sultan had to either rescind his decision about the Balukli or else grant Hagia Sophia to the Greeks. You see how Paisios was so effective in turning them around, and he was able to do this because he was fully prepared to die. If one has not made the decision about death and is not prepared to die, nothing can be achieved. It all starts from there.